Hey, stupid. This is the part where I remind you before the show starts that this is a comedic informative show, which means, as South Park Biden used to say, we tackle serious issues in a humorous manner. Sometimes I'm serious. A lot of the time I'm full of shit. Sometimes I'm saying things that are so absurd, only an idiot would think I was serious. If you are that idiot, tune out now. I don't want you listening to my show. You are a liability for my ability to pay my bills. Please stop watching. If you can take a joke, if you can understand the concept of absurdism, if you can realize that when somebody says something that may indicate a crime or some type of insane belief, they're joking, you can continue watching. You're the type of person I like. Thank you so much. Please enjoy the show, and please don't sue us. Welcome to That's Based. It's Saturday, and I'm your host, as always, Caleb Salvatore, reporting from somewhere underground. We're laughing our way through the end of days. Sorry, I had something in my throat there. Brought to you by Live 365 on Chris Baker Radio, Outlaw Streamers, and our friends at drinkbloodofTyrants.com. DrinkbloodofTyrants.com with the promo code BASED will get you 10% off your order. To check out, they've got two types of wine, both red and white. For the winos out there, drinkbloodofTyrants.com. You can also get the Liquid Freedom Energy Drink. The Liquid Freedom Energy Drink is all the plus sides of energy drinks with none of the negative downsides. There is no sugar, no calories, no carbs, and no fucks given. Like I said, all the plus sides of Monster and all the other crap you guys are pumping into your veins that's killing your hearts, but none of the negative downsides. And if you go to drinkbloodofTyrants.com with the promo code BASED, you'll save 10% off your order right now on my favorite energy drink that comes from all natural ingredients. All right. Well, we got a big show for you today. It's Saturday. We're back to your normally scheduled flow of the show. Stockholm Mia, the red face of white supremacy's back with us. She's feeling better. How's the recovery?
Good.
They thought that because you were out of you were out of it last week.
Oh.
So they thought that I had killed you
Oh.
or something.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
She's still alive.
Yes.
She's we're all good. Yeah, she was just a little under the weather. You probably could have done it if you absolutely had to, don't you think? We just decided it would have been better for her to sit that one out, so she did. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about this week. We got an update on the Israeli hostages situation. They got all those folks out. Taylor Swift has evidently gone MAGA. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift's ascension down the right-wing rabbit hole, or up the right-wing. I know, dissension would be down the right-wing rabbit hole. We're going to talk about the horrific double standard going on in Virginia right now. Some young Republicans got their group chats leaked. Thank God it wasn't me this time. Zohran Mamdani's in a little bit of hot water over in New York City. We got an update on the Alex Jones endless defamation trial. There is a new study that came out about students identifying as transgender and non-binary. We've got Columbus Day. The debate over Columbus Day rages on as we see year in and year out. And we got a whole bunch more stuff to talk about. However, today, a lot of you are probably listening to this show on your way to the No Kings protest, because that's this morning all over the place. I heard it's going to be like 2,500 different cities. The No Kings protests are back for round 2. Mia, do you think we should stop out at the No Kings protests?
No.
No? You don't want to smell the body odor.
I'll pass.
You'll pass, yeah. You don't want to smell the body odor down there. It's now here's what's funny about this. They did it the first time. And it just shows you the type of losers that are behind this. If you're going to protest something, protest it. Don't set up a scheduled start and end time. I don't think what effective protest has ever started at 9 a.m. and been over at 11 a.m. sharp? How does that make any sense? And the liberals are getting mad. If you look at the comments, they're not all as supportive of it anymore. They'll see the thing pop up and they'll go, please, for the love of God, stop embarrassing us. The last one was a shit show. And we showed you the images. These people are unhinged lunatics, and they did far more of a disservice to their party. If you go back and look at the approval ratings for Donald Trump and Republicans in general after the No Kings protest, they actually saw a little bit of a bump because they showed how every now and then the left likes to remind us just how unhinged the alternative to what we have right now is, and people go, the people in the middle, the Monty Scotts of the world that are like, yeah, I voted for Trump, but he's done some things I don't like. They take a look at them and go, oh, that's why I voted for Trump. I forgot. My bad. Never mind. I'm cool with it again. So it's important that they do that. I do want to address one other housekeeping item before we get into current state of the left and everything. So this week, there have been 5 individuals killed in 4 separate fatal pit bull attacks. Now, there was another nearly fatal pit bull attack that I can't talk about because there's a pending legal matter. What I want to let you guys know, though, is I'm done talking about pit bulls. I'm done trashing them, not on the air. Not because I've had a come to Jesus moment or change of heart. I'm done talking about pit bulls because I've realized how disruptive it is to the local economies. And what I mean by that is every time I go on a rant about pit bulls, whether we share the clip on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, wherever, we get dozens of pit mommies and deadbeat dads commenting, attacking me. And today I came to the realization that if the pit bull owners are arguing with me on Facebook, then that means that nobody is manning the register at the gas station. If the pit bull owners are coming at me are too busy coming at me on Facebook, then that means they're missing their court hearings for child support. Listen, man, somewhere in this country, there's a tattoo chair, or there's a chair at a tattoo studio that's empty because a pit bull owner is arguing on Facebook with me, rather than sitting in that chair getting their 5th kid from their 4th baby daddy's footprints tattooed across their chest. I'm done disrupting the local economy. We need you people out there doing your thing, okay? I've had enough causing chaos. We really need the pit bull owners back out, committing acts of arson on abandoned buildings, on condemned houses. So I apologize for that. We will not be attacking. I'm kidding. I'm only going to become more extreme in my anti-pit bull rhetoric, and you'll see in a couple of weeks. We got a pretty major scandal. I've partnered with a reporter friend of mine, Ricky Hernandez. We're digging into a pretty massive scandal here in Nebraska involving some major institutional failures and that godforsaken monstrosity of a breed. But we'll talk about that later on. Let's jump into the current state of the left.
Before we do, I have some news.
Uh-oh. What?
From my sister.
Okay.
She got asked out on a date.
Uh-oh. She was asked
by her buddy.
Oh, her friend.
Her friend Jonah.
Don't dox a kid. Don't say a kid's name. Don't do that. Jonas, yeah.
She got asked out on her very first date.
Oh, but where are they going?
She said no.
She said no.
She turned him down.
Oh. Where do the 6th graders go on? She's in 6th grade, right?
7th.
Where do the 7th graders go on dates?
I don't know.
We should ask Joe Biden. He would know.
Anyways.
Yeah. All right. Let's hop into current state of the left real quick.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
All right. This week on the current state of the left, it's time to once again play our favorite game, which liberal most belongs at a mental institution. Now, here's the rules. They're simple. As we all know, every liberal belongs in a mental institution, but by law, one of them must belong in one more than the others. So we've got 3 different contestants. Some of them you've heard of, some of them you haven't, some of them maybe you'll hear of some other day when they inevitably walk into a gas station or a church or something and just start mowing people down because they finally had a breakdown. We've got 3 contestants. We need you to drop a comment on YouTube and Rumble, which one, or Facebook, the That's Space with Caleb Salvatore Facebook group, which one most belongs in the mental institution. Now, this first guy decided to take to TikTok to make a video to let you know how he feels about you if you still support MAGA. Let's hear him out.
Bro, do you know how stupid you guys on the right look when you keep referring to Antifa as if it's an organization. Stop doing that. You're dumb. You're being dumb.
Do you guys know that guy's telling you how stupid you look? The guy with who can't go through the metal detectors at TSA. The guy who, if he went to get an MRI, his nose would be ripped from his face. It'd probably make him look better. The guy, I mean, I think his gauges were the size of that candle that's burning over there. That guy thinks you look stupid. By the way, Antifa is totally not a group, right? It's totally not a group. They just have uniforms and members and a leadership structure and headquarters and funding nationally. But it's not a group. It's the most non-group group I've ever seen before. That guy thinks you look stupid. Here's the thing. I love when liberals put those giant piercings in their noses, those giant bull-like septum rings, and when they get those giant gauges on their ears. Because these people want to talk a bunch of shit about a civil war and all that stuff. Here's my thing. If I'm in a guy and if I'm in a fight with a guy, that was gay. If I'm in a fight with a guy and
You are gay.
if I'm in a fight with a guy and he's got those giant gauges or a big old fucking septum ring that looks like a bull down his nose, that's the first thing I'm grabbing. So these people want to start a bunch of shit. They have unnecessarily kneecapped themselves more than they already are. I mean, we already know these people have never been in a fight before and they can't even bench their own weight, but that's irrelevant. That's what I like to see. Keep stretching your ears out like that, guys. You guys that want the smoke and you want to fight us so bad, keep doing that, because I'm going to grab that, pull, and just start banging your head into the ground. And that should be everybody's strategy if somebody like that tries to come at them. Never initiate the violence first, though. Okay, let's go to the next one here for Current State of the Left. This is a singer some of you know. Everything I've learned about her has been against my will. I can't stand anything she's ever done. It's not just that I don't like her music. She is the most insufferable artist in the history of music. Ladies and gentlemen, Chapel Roan.
I don't know, fuck ICE forever. Fuck ICE.
Look how serious she is.
Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Yeah.
So deep. What was that in her? Were you looking at what was in her hands on her lap?
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
Was that a
It looked
cat?
like a little like stuffed alligator or something with a rosary on it.
I mean, okay, so when we talk about well thought out political discourse, does it get much more intellectual than that? I mean, this is the leader for the Gen Z pop cultural liberal movement right here. Does it get any more well thought out and deep than that right there? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but this changes everything. I have done a total 180 after seeing that video on my stance on immigration. I think we should totally open up the borders, just let anyone come in, suck off the welfare system that you and I have to pay for and they don't have to pay into, and abandon our culture entirely because the bitch that sings Pink Pony Club said fuck ICE and then did a 30-second pause, probably because she was thinking about what she was going to say next in that time. And then all she came up with was just to repeat the thing she said 30 seconds ago. This woman is the dumbest person in music. What was that award she won where she walked up dressed up like a Klansman?
I don't know. I think it was like the VMAs or Grammys.
Yeah, she had like a dunce cap on, and then she went up and had like something she had written on her phone and cried about how the musician, how poorly she was treated and they needed to unionize. Oh no, you poor thing. Chapel Roan's treated poorly. She needs to unionize, Mia. Do you know who has unions? Factories. If the folks in the music industry like Chapel Roan are treated so poorly, I can think of a great union job with benefits that they can go work in right now in a coal mine. And you can trade places with the miners. The coal miners will go around the country making music and snorting Percocets for a living, and Chapel Roan can work in the mines. It's unionized. You got the benefits. That's what you're calling for. My God. All right, this last one here, for which liberal most belongs in a mental institution, is from a singer-songwriter on the Tic Tac named Ron Gallo. Now, Ron wants to help you get into the Halloween spirit, so he wrote a little number about it. It's better than anything Chapel Roan's ever written, which is a really low bar. It's still not very good, but go ahead and check it out.
Some people are putting up Halloween decorations. Some people live in a nightmare scene. Some people got it so good they need a reminder. Some people need a break from the thrills others seek. Somewhere bodies decorate the streets and sidewalks. Somewhere plastic bones pop out of the grass. That 12-foot skeleton is pretty hilarious if you didn't get shot or bombed on the way to class.
Hate these people so much.
Some people are putting up Halloween decorations. Some people are living in a nightmare scene.
I can't words getting.
Some people got it so good they need a reminder. Some people need a break from their mortality. Another day of war, another Gestapo at my door. 2 knocks, then Amazon leaves an electric toothbrush on my porch floor. Another day of battle, riding a missile with a saddle. 1 ring of the bell, my attention span gets shattered.
Do they realize that this is why people hate them? Does the left understand this is why they lost the election? Because you can't let people have any fun without reminding them that somebody somewhere else has it worse than them. So no one can ever enjoy anything again because something bad's going on somewhere else in the world. This is why people hate you guys. You still don't get it. You're still going to God forbid a guy wants to just put a skeleton up in his yard for Halloween. Can't do that. Nope, we have to remind him, hey, there's a war going on somewhere else. This is why we can't stand you. Because, look, people like me that pay attention to what's going on in the world, we're going to vote one way or the other. We've got our minds made up. The votes you're trying to court are the people that are competing in the neighborhood Halloween decorating contest, the people that have the time to worry about that. The votes you're trying to court are the people who you're shaming because they want to watch a football game on Sunday. Or the people that you're shaming because they took their kids on a family vacation and some families don't have enough money to eat. Those are the people you're trying to court. And those are the people who you continue to insult and continue to throw in their face that they can't have anything fun. This is why Free Palestine never gained any steam in the U.S. outside of those, like, fringe left-wing circles. It was real popular among dipshits like that, but it never went anywhere else. It was never a cause that the average American, like I said, that just wants to grill and have a good time with his neighbors, ever picked up. And the reason they didn't was because when they tried to grill and they posted it to Instagram, Pronouns for Palestine would swarm their account and go, how dare you have a barbecue with your neighbors? Families in Gaza are starving. If you were in Rafah right now, you would have been drone striked at this barbecue. Well, if I were in Rafah, they would have killed me because I was, cooking hot dogs. But that's a side note. It wouldn't have been the Jews that killed me either. Like, that's what they don't understand this. There's a time and a place to have these conversations, whether I agree with you or not. There's a time and not legally. You can talk about it legally whenever you want to. But if you want to have effective messaging, there is a time and a place to have these conversations. Like, I knew these were not serious people when I saw somebody comment on a Facebook post about somebody's dog dying, that this is, and I quote, this is what the people in Gaza have to put up with every day, end quote. I saw that and I'm like, oh, and that was pretty early on. I'm like, oh, this is a joke. These are idiots. This is the Pronouns for Palestine, the Watermelon Gang, whatever you want to call them. This is the bottom of the barrel of humanity in terms of who we're engaging with here. These people should just be ignored. They're a loud minority who at least for my goals, they're not going to get in the way of. We just need to ignore them. And that's the only way to deal with them. I mean, I seen a video the other day on TikTok where some woman posted a video, and it was like one of those like TikToks with the text on it, and they don't say anything, but it said, what did it say? It said, when I post rest in peace to my dad after dying, and somebody reminds me that at least I don't live in Gaza. And I'm like, they don't realize how many people they lose. They don't. Because you're not attacking. When you guys do things like that, when you tell people to check their privilege and tell them that, you know, they can't enjoy putting up Halloween decorations because somewhere else somebody did get turned into a skeleton, which I hate to break it to you, we're all going to be eventually. It's more of a morbid joke than it is, you know, ignoring your privilege compared to someone else in the world. But when you guys tell people they can't put up Halloween decorations, when you guys comment on posts about dead parents or pets or whatever and tell them that this is what the people in Gaza have to deal with, when you guys block traffic, you're turning off the people who you need. People like me aren't going to listen to you. We're done. We don't have any care. The people in the middle who are undecided or don't really pay attention at all are the ones you're attacking with this, because they're the ones who are predominant. They're the ones who are driving to work. They're the ones that are, you know, posting the memorial of their dead dog. They're the ones that are putting up the Halloween decorations and having the barbecues. You're attacking them, not the far right. So continue, by all means, keep this up. This is great for me. I'm giving you guys free game. Free game for the left today is stop acting like insufferable pricks and party poopers. That's it. Stop being buzzkills. That's what they do. They can't help it but be buzzkills, because these people have never had fun in their life because nobody invites them to parties. Nobody. I saw a meme. It was a picture of Barron Trump in a suit and Kamala Harris's stepdaughter. And it was like, oh, Harris's stepdaughter has a personality and Trump's son doesn't. I'm like, brother, I know people that look like the folks in both images in that picture. Let me tell you, the guy that looks like Barron Trump is way more fun to party with. Way more fun to party with, because I don't have to sit there. I've partied with people that look like Kamala Harris's daughter. They sit there and they just bitch and moan about social issues that they have no control over. They don't let you have any fun. Look, man, you go to the casino with a dude that looks like Barron Trump, and after your third bathroom break, quote unquote, and your return to the blackjack table, you're having the time of your fucking life, okay? That's all I'm saying. All right, Mia, which liberal most belongs in the mental institution?
I think Chapel Roan.
I think Chapel Roan just for being Chapel Roan.
Yeah, not for that incident in like particular, just for everything.
Yes, I agree. Chapel Roan, congratulations. You belong in the mental institution, not necessarily because you were the most unhinged of the three contestants, but because I will no longer have to hear about you if you're locked away. So that's been Current State of the Left. Stay tuned. We got Store Brand TMZ coming out next. All right, and it's time for Store Brand TMZ.
Justin Bieber!
And before we get into Store Brand TMZ this week is brought to you by Tactilian. Tactilian is the best place to go for gifts for the Patriot in your life. Let's be honest, Christmas is coming up. Mia and I were just at Target. The Halloween shit is gone. It's gone. It's gone. They've got like half of where the Halloween... It's October 15th. We're recording this. Half the Halloween stuff, or half the place where the Halloween stuff was, is just normal generic bullshit. The other half, they're slowly creeping in the Christmas stuff. It's just like candles and blankets right now, but soon they're going to have everything. The candy canes, the decorative pillows. They've shoved all the Halloween shit to the back. If you got your last minute stuff, you go get it. But Christmas is coming. We can all hear Mariah starting to unthaw, okay? It's going to be here before you know it. I was telling her, the kid that drives the shuttle at the dealership I get my oil changed at was telling me he used to work at Walmart back when it was 24/7 before they, stole that from us during COVID. And when he was coming back from when he was working at Walmart on Halloween at midnight, 12:01, the music cut out in the store. And a minute later, Mariah starts coming on. I don't want a lot for Christmas. Yeah, I don't know the rest of the lyrics. I just know the start. All I want for Christmas is you. What I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make is you need to start doing your shopping right now before all the ports get clogged up, all the delivery apps get behind, and you're sweating it out, wondering if that gift's going to be here. by Christmas time. What better way to do it than to go to tactilian.com right now, tactilian.com. Use the promo code BASE to save 15% off your order at the checkout, just like the title of the show, BASED, and buy, I don't know, maybe a t-shirt, maybe a decal for your vehicle, decor for your home and office, even something for your dog, as long as it's not a pit bull. If it's a pit bull, buy it some antifreeze. That was a joke. That was a joke. I just hate him so much. Tactilian.com, tactilian.com with the promo code BASED. 15% will save you off your order at the checkout. And a portion of the proceeds are going to go to help build homes for wounded veterans. Tactilian.com, tactilian.com with the promo code BASED. You'll save 15% off your order at the checkout. Okay. Do not give your dogs antifreeze. That's the lesson of the day. Okay, that was it. We should all know that was a joke. Okay, first up in store brand TMZ. The, what do I have for? Oh, Alec Baldwin had quite the week last week. So he crashes his wife's Range Rover into a tree. Was it his wife's car or his car?
I think it was his wife's.
Why was Alec Baldwin driving his wife's car?
I don't know. You drive my car.
Rarely. So the closest I've ever been to that was the time I left your lights on your car and I killed the battery. That's the closest I've been to what Alec did. Now, here was Alec's explanation for what happened.
But this morning I was in this car accident. A guy cut me off in a truck, big garbage truck. I mean, a garbage truck the size of a whale. I've never seen a garbage truck. It must have been something commercial for like taking away.
Hold on, pause this.
Material from construction or something.
Why does he sound like Trump describing this garbage truck right now? Does he not? Instead of just, hey, a garbage truck got me off, the biggest garbage truck I've ever seen, the size of a whale. It must have been commercial or something. All right, go ahead, continue.
It was the biggest garbage truck I've ever seen. Anyway, I won't go into the details now and bore you, but to avoid hitting him, I hit a tree. I hit a big fat tree and crushed my car, my wife's car. I crushed my wife's car. I feel bad about that, but it's all fine, and I'm fine, and my brother's fine, and blah-blah-blah. Congratulations to everybody on the film festival. Thank you to the East Hampton Police Department, the town police department, for coming to my aid. They came in and we filed a report with them. Officer Gherkin is his name, Gerken. Lovely guy, and there was another gentleman there, I didn't get his name, but Officer Gherkin from the East Hampton Police Department. As nice as can be and as pleasant as can be about the whole thing.
Alec.
And
I didn't know you were black.
My wife's car is pretty smashed up. Big tree, big fat tree. And
Alec's got the dead smoke detector batteries.
I'm going to LA to see my family. Can't wait. Going out to California to gather my family together, spend a few days out there, and then come home.
Why is he still talking? What's
But
going
I'm still
on?
so proud of my wife.
Just obtained exclusive dash
Okay,
cam
that's
video
enough.
showing the moment
I
actor
don't wanna see
Alec
it.
Baldwin crashed his SUV on the east end of New York's Long Island. The video is from the front-facing camera on a commercial truck. You're seeing the truck here making what's believed to be a legal right turn, and then it slows down.
Seconds later, Baldwin's SUV is seen hitting a mailbox and a tree off to the right side of the truck. The actor, an outspoken Trump hater, claimed on social media that he was driving his wife's Range Rover with his brother Stephen Baldwin in the passenger seat. He said he was trying to avoid hitting this truck, so he veered off the road into the tree. It does not appear, though, that anyone was injured.
So Stephen was in the truck. That changes everything. Did Justin Bieber call in the hit? That changes everything. Alec Baldwin. Why did they add outspoken Trump hater to that? Is that it? How would you like that to be your identity? I mean, Alec Baldwin's a fairly successful actor. You don't have to like him as a person, but he's done a good job at his career. I think he's a good actor. And they add that, like, your hatred for one man defines you. That's actually kind of sad if you think about it. The guy's got a legitimate legacy, and the thing he's defined by is the person he hates. That's insane. For someone who hates Trump, he talks exactly like him. Exactly like him. The weird descriptive, like almost over descriptive details, constant callbacks is the ram. I mean, he talks like Trump. Next up, we've got, as we all know, Bad Bunny is going to be the Super Bowl halftime show. And they asked, now look, I'm not thrilled about it, but like I told you before, this was a business decision. They're trying to reach more TVs so they can sell more ads and blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to watch it. Very rarely do I pay any attention during the Super Bowl halftime show anyway. So it really doesn't matter to me. I don't care all that much. I don't know what the guy's politics are. I couldn't tell you a song if it walked up and kicked me in the dick. But Speaker Mike Johnson was asked about it. And this just and Mike Johnson's a Republican in Congress. And this just shows you how out of touch these dinosaur politicians on both sides of the aisle are with the average everyday American.
Any reaction to Bad Bunny being chosen as the Super Bowl halftime performance?
I didn't even know who Bad Bunny was,
okay.
But it sounds like a terrible decision, in my view, from what I'm hearing. What's that?
How come?
Well, it sounds like he's not someone who appeals to a broader audience, and I think, there's so many eyes on the Super Bowl, a lot of young, impressionable children, and I think, in my view, you would have Lee Greenwood or role models doing that, not somebody like this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Lee Greenwood. Do you know who Lee Greenwood is, Mia?
I'm looking him up right now.
Because I'm
Lee
proud to
Greenwood.
be an American, where at least
What?
I know I'm free. That guy. Look, fine song. Nothing wrong with it. But he's like 84 years old.
82.
I was close. He hasn't been relevant since the Reagan era. I mean, like... I get the frustration with the Bad Bunny thing. I don't care either way, to be honest with you. Yes, of course, I'd prefer someone I actually listen to, but I understand why people are upset about it. It does kind of feel like, from the outside looking in, when you don't consider the business perspective, I could see how it could feel like kind of a poke in the eye. But Lee Greenwood, listen, Turning Point USA is supposed to be putting on its own Super Bowl halftime show. I don't know what's going on with that. I hope it's Limp Bizkit. If they give me a Limp Bizkit halftime show, we're turning the channel, baby. We're watching that. We're going to break stuff. What would you rather watch, Limp Bizkit or Bad Bunny? Neither. You wouldn't want to get down with Fred?
Not really.
Oh. Well, Mia's going to Hardy with me in March. She's excited. What song do you want to hear the most?
I don't know. I don't know any of them.
You know the dog one. Not the dog one. She doesn't want to hear it. I almost guarantee he sings it. What else we got here? Oh, yes. All right. Kevin Federline has made quite the claim. Kevin Federline has now alleged, this is allegedly, that his ex-wife, is she his ex-wife? They were married for like 3 weeks. Does that still count as a wife? His ex, quote-unquote, wife, Britney Spears, would, and I quote, watch their son sleep with a knife in her hand. Britney Spears. Every day, listen, I was out on the forefront, half jokingly saying I was Team Britney's dad before I was even on this show. You can go back to the Bread and Circuses podcast days. I was at the forefront saying I was Team Britney's dad, and everyone said I was heartless and a misogynist and a monster and blah, 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 blah. Every single day, we learn something new about this woman that shows how ahead of my time I was. Now, I was joking back then. I didn't care either way. I just said it because I knew it got a reaction. Now I am unironically Team Britney's dad. Give the man the conservatorship back. He was trying to protect us. I love when you see these videos of her acting unhinged and people will have the audacity to go, oh, hey, maybe her dad wasn't all wrong with the conservatorship. And they're like, oh, God forbid a woman want to dance with knives in her living room by herself. No, yeah, she probably, listen, you want to dance with knives on your own time? That's fine. But when you've got kids and stuff like that are going to be your, get an inheritance from you, you probably should have someone else managing your money. That's all I'll say.
So Kevin Federline has full custody of their kids.
That's bad.
Yeah.
When K-Fed gets full custody of your kids over you.
He also said that on the night before their wedding, she called Justin Timberlake.
Nice. That's
Her
always the
ex-boyfriend.
little classic move. Get that closure right before you hear. I hear stories about that. Like the bride will text her ex for closure. So I'm like, bro, if your soon-to-be wife says that, get out of there before I do. Call the wedding off, blow it up. It's fine. It'll be a funny story in a couple years, I promise. All right, let's get into sports news here. Skip Bayless. Okay, so Travis Hunter is a NFL player. He plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We actually talked about him and his girlfriend, and they had some drama there. She seems like a succubus, but whatever. So he got baptized on Sunday before the game. He became a Christian. He got baptized, and that blew up all over the internet. Skip Bayless posted a 28-minute video, which I'm not going to share with you because I didn't even bother to watch all of it because I didn't really care what he had to say after I saw the subtext of it, with the following... with the following tweet attached to it. The caption says, "There is no way Travis Hunter should have chosen to be baptized on the morning of a game. He is losing interest. He is mentally checking out on the Jaguars." Oh boy. If that's not on the Mount Rushmore of bad takes, I don't know what is. Shouldn't have chosen to get baptized on a Sunday. Skip, that's when you do it. That's when you do it. And anyone who has been a member of the Christian faith for more than 10 minutes will be able to tell you that God, believe it or not, is actually prioritized above football. I know this is hard for some of these heathens that have spent their entire lives working in the entertainment industry and just totally sold their souls, whether it's literally or figuratively is up to you to decide. But that's the case. I don't think it really distracted him from the game that much that he got dipped in water while somebody said a prayer. I hate to break it to you, Skip. There's plenty of NFL players who attend church before the games. Are they not focused either? Like, you guys get there's more than football. I mean, imagine taking that with any other job. Any other job. Can't believe he got baptized the morning before he was supposed to go into his shift at Quick Trip. He's losing focus. That would be a religious discrimination lawsuit and a big payday if somebody said that. Your faith is bigger than your job. We got one more piece of sports news here. So Penn State has fired their football coach. I don't think Matt Rule from Nebraska is going to take the job. I've seen all the conspiracy theories. I need to see a little bit more smoke to that other than just speculation and dot connecting. But that's nonetheless. They fired James Franklin. My guess is they're going to regret it. But here's what the Penn State AD said he's looking for in his next coach. Go ahead and tell me and drop a comment on YouTube, Rumble, or That Space with Caleb Salvatore Facebook group under this show's bulletin if you noticed what it was he said. Go ahead.
Our next coach will be someone who embodies everything Penn State stands for. Integrity, accountability, toughness, humility, and an elite motivator.
All right, that's enough.
We'll find a coach who can achieve
everything Penn State stands for. Really. Accountability, because when I think Penn State, you know, the team that spent decades covering up child rape, the first two words that come to my mind are accountability and integrity. He should have went out there and been like, hey, we need someone who embodies the Penn State way, someone who's willing to lie, and there's no low they're not willing to stoop to if it means winning a game, okay? You want to know the sick thing about this? About the Penn State thing, the worst thing about it? I mean, besides the fact that they slapped him with like a decade's worth of sanctions and then lifted him after a year, which was a total joke. The NCAA didn't take it seriously. Child rapists tend to get off really easily in this country. I don't know why. It's like the worst crime you can commit, and for whatever reason, they treat it like you ran a stop sign or something. The worst part about that was it was so clear that everyone there knew. There were little Easter eggs dropped. I mean, Sandusky, his autobiography. Do you have any idea what his autobiography was called, Mia? Want to take a guess?
A little kid lover.
No, not Michael Scott's online dating profile. It was called Touched. His autobiography that was on sale in the Penn State bookstore was called Touched. They had in the school cafeteria, some of the coaches that had been there for a while would have like a meal that, they requested. Like if a celebrity goes to a restaurant a lot and there's a specific, like they do like the Travis Scott meals at McDonald's, that kind of stuff, where it's like a specific meal that high profile individual likes to order. Well, Sandusky had his own. It was an ice cream dish called the Sandusky Special. It was 2 scoops of ice cream with a banana in the middle of it. It looked like a cock and balls. They all knew it was a big joke what was going on up there, and they rolled with it. So yeah, the next coach needs to have accountability and integrity at Penn State is a low bar. That's all we'll say there. That's been Store Brand TMZ. Stay tuned. We got a whole bunch of stories coming up next. All right, before we get into trending this week, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, our good friends over at Firecracker Farm. Firecracker.farm with the promo code BASED, BASED, like the title of the show. You're going to save 10% off your order at the checkout on hot salt. Hot salt's a combination of Mediterranean sea salt, scorpion pepper, Carolina Reaper, and ghost pepper, and it goes great on everything. Firecracker.farm, not .com, .org, or .net. Firecracker.farm. With the promo code BASED, you'll save 10% off your order at the checkout. Go do it now. It was made on a family farm with love. It is the last seasoning you'll ever need or want. Firecracker. And that's totally, totally subjective. That's not me making a promise. Firecracker.farm with the promo code BASED, BASED, like the title of the show. You'll save 10% off your order at the checkout. All right, whole bunch of stuff to get into this week. So as we know, Donald Trump got that historic Israel-Gaza ceasefire deal agreed to. They brought the hostages home. And everyone's talking about what a raw deal the Palestinians got. Everyone's talking about how on the pronouns for Palestine side, how screwed the Palestinians got out of this deal. I mean, if we really want to do numbers, so Palestine sent 20 Israeli hostages back to Israel that they had taken, and Israel sent 1,500 Palestinian prisoners back to Gaza. By the way, some of these prisoners were guys who had attempted suicide bombings, mass murderers, terror sleeper cell leaders, all got sent back to Palestine. And we're supposed to believe that Gaza got the raw deal out of this. Guys, I hate to break it to you. I really do. But war is hell. It is. You don't get to start a war and then start making demands after you lose it when it comes time to negotiation. By the way, this idea that there's this negotiation aspect in a war is relatively new in the course of human history. Like 100, maybe 200 years old new. I mean, for the longest time, the way war worked was one side starts shit with the other side. It might be over land, it might be over resources, it might be over personal issues, religion, politics, whatever. But one side starts shit with the other side, they fight it out, and then the winning side kills everybody or takes them hostage. They rape the women, they burn the villages to the ground, that's it. This is new, where people come in and you lose and you actually get some type of deal out of it. The reality is Israel could have pulverized Hamas if they wanted to. The United States kept the dog on a leash. That's what happened here. Donald Trump and Biden didn't really have any control over Netanyahu. But Donald Trump, for the shit we gave him about it, he actually did keep Netanyahu and Israel on a leash. This could have been a whole lot worse. They could have glassed Gaza if they wanted to, but they didn't. It's like trying to win a football game only playing defense, what Israel was doing. Had they let them play offense, it would have been a blowout by the end of the first quarter. They didn't do that, though. So people are upset that Hamas is getting a raw deal, and it's like, dude, you don't get to start a war, lose said war, and then make all these demands. You should be lucky they're giving you anything. I don't get to walk up to the guy that's a 6'6" MMA fighter at the bar, punch him in the face, and then get mad when he wants to fight me. Because that's what Hamas did. They launched their attack on October 7th, took a bunch of hostages, and then went, whoa, 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 whoa. If you don't shoot us and you do X, Y, and Z, we'll send these hostages back. And Israel's basically like, fuck you. That's not how this works. You don't get to hit me and then immediately go, whoa, 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 let's talk it out, man. I know I sucker punched you, but let's talk this out. Now, I will say, the Mossad is supposedly the best intelligence agency in the world, and, you know, them and the CIA, and they've got all this information, and they couldn't figure out that Hamas launched this attack on October 7th a couple years ago, my wedding day, by the way. But they couldn't. I find that hard to believe. I think this is kind of akin to the 9/11 inside job theories that maybe some folks on the inside had an idea 9/11 was coming, and it was, while they didn't carry it out, it was going to give them a convenient scapegoat to start a war they'd been itching to start for a while. That's what I think happened with October 7th. Nonetheless, though, Israel didn't go into Gaza, point their guns at people's heads and say, hey, you have to go attack this music festival here. Hamas, at the end of the day, are the ones that decided to do it. Now, there should absolutely be accountability for folks inside the Mossad and the Israeli government if they truly did know that this was coming and allowed it to happen. But let's not act like it takes two to tango, okay? It takes two to tango. So they lost the war. They started the fight. And they couldn't fit. They started a fight they knew they couldn't win, and now they're crying that they didn't get a good enough deal. And you notice a lot of the pronouns for Palestine people are awful quiet here. They're awful quiet. I mean, all we've heard for 2 years, 3 years, no, 2 years now, is free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine. And then Donald Trump comes along and actually does free Palestine. And they're like, well, not like that. What do you mean, not like that? Because I've told you guys for the longest time, this isn't actually, and I said it last week, I'll say it again. Palestine was a vehicle for them to get to their destination. The destination is total chaos, anarchy, and chaos. They didn't actually believe that they didn't actually believe there would be a Gaza ceasefire because the historical precedent's pretty clear on it. That never works. Usually their side starts it. But they didn't think that was actually going to happen. This was an excuse for them to bitch and moan and arrive at the end goal, which was communism, Marxism, whatever you want to call it. And it was also an excuse for a lot of them to hate Jews. That's really what it was. Look no further than this protest on October 7th of this year, if you don't believe me.
We did not act enough. We did not act enough. Repeat after me. We did not act enough. We did not act enough. If we acted enough. If we acted enough. The headline behind me would read. The headline behind me would read. Gaza has been liberated. So our work is not done. We must show up. We must show up. Stronger than we did the first October 7th. Louder than we did the first October 7th. To make it clear that we are not going anywhere. We will keep fighting until Palestine is free. From the river to the sea. Within our lifetime. Make some noise.
I mean, it truly is. I mean, there's a collective IQ at those protests of about 73. They are just the dumbest, knuckle-dragging morons you will ever encounter. None of them have any original talking points. They can't tell you why they feel the way they do. They can stand there and chant and hand you a pamphlet or an Instagram, the Instagram slacktivism shit that tells you how they feel for them. That's it. That's it. Those little graphics you see on Instagram. You know what I'm talking about. Those people share to their stories. Like they're spreading awareness. I saw one the other day. It was like how to be more vigilant in your activism. I'm like, you press 2 buttons. That's not activism. But anyway, these people are fools. I'm sorry. In my opinion, and I think the law would probably agree with me, when they say, and I quote, "we will come stronger than we did the first October 7th," end quote, that sounds like a threat to me, considering that hundreds of people were massacred at a music festival. That sounds like a threat. I don't know how you can consider that to be anything but a threat. And I don't know who that guy was that was leading that protest, but if he's not from here, he needs to be shipped back to wherever the hell he came from. Because that's not somebody we want in our country. If he's an American, he needs to be put in prison for incitement of violence. I mean, that's crazy. There's no hiding behind that. That's clear what you mean. Usually when you talk to these pronouns for Palestine people, you actually get one that can form a coherent sentence. Every now and then you'll get, the rare occasions where you can get one that can form a coherent sentence, but they'll at least pretend to disavow what happened on October 7th. They're increasing the temperature. They're upping the rhetoric here, and they're saying that, no, October 7th didn't go far enough. They want to kill more Jews. They want to target more soft targets and more innocent civilians. And these are people in the United States that are saying that. Everyone there that was at that rally chanting that should be identified and either locked in prison for incitement of terrorism or deported back to wherever the hell they came from. I don't care if they're a citizen or not. They need to be gone. There's no excuse to have people like that in this country. Had we known that they held those beliefs when they came here, we wouldn't have let them in. They should not get to stay here. That's all there is to it. If I welcome you into my house and then you come into my house and say, yeah, by the way, Caleb, I want to kill you. And I go, no, you have to leave. And you're like, you can't. You allowed me into your house for this cookout. I'm like, yeah, things have changed, man. I wouldn't have let you in the house if you said you wanted to kill me. Well, too bad. I'm here. I can't go anywhere. That's not how that works. You have to leave my house or I'm going to shoot you. Like those are your two options. It's the same thing. They have to leave the country. You don't get to stay here. Period. End of discussion. All right, let's go to the next one. So Taylor Swift released her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, October 3rd.
And it's smashing the records. It's selling out everywhere. She's got like 13 different versions that you can buy, and she's just raking her fans over the coals, whatever. She got a song about Kelsey's dick in it. And I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to talk about.
It's not confirmed that that's what it's about.
That's what it's about. But what's caught everyone's attention, at least our friends on the terminally online left, is that Taylor Swift has gone MAGA. She's gone right-wing influencer. She's going to be on Fox News. Taylor Swift's going to be on the Turning Point USA tour next. When they start doing the college change my mind debate sessions, Taylor Swift's going to be the one sitting there arguing with some ugly blue-haired, gender-confused college girl about why there's only two genders and how you were born a woman, you will die a woman. That's going to be Taylor Swift. When do you think Taylor's going to launch her own podcast on InfoWars?
It's only a matter of time.
Taylor's going to get on the Alex Jones network with her own radio show. Yes.
I mean, anything to make that money.
Oh, she'd do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think her fans would jump ship with her? If Taylor started a right-wing radio show on InfoWars, do you think her fans would tune in?
I think there's a good majority that would.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just imagining Taylor up talking about like 9/11 and stuff like that, being an inside job. And here's a TikToker that really breaks it down for us. Have your finger on the pause button ready because we're going to react to it as it goes. But go ahead.
Okay.
Taylor Swift is handing the conservative agenda on a silver platter to the masses. And before I go any further and before you argue with me, you cannot convince me that the master lyricist of our generation, akin to Shakespeare, the Easter egg master of our generation, is not aware of what her entire optics and lyrics and album and everything is giving at this very moment. And before you suggest that this was supposed to be a satirical...
Why do the TikTok girls always do that crap with their hands where they throw them down in front, like their nails in front of the camera? Why do they always do that when they're trying? I mean, they never actually make a point, but they think they're making a point, and they throw their hands down like that, like to really just add the exclamation point, the emphasis to the nonsensical dribble that provides nothing other than further evidence as to why we need to repeal the 19th Amendment that they just vomited out of their mouth. Okay.
Album. I would like to remind you how she feels about this album in her own words.
World to me to have this creative experience where like we knew that we had to bring the best ideas we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I also know the pressure I'm putting on this record by saying that, but I don't care because I love it that much. And there's not other ones coming. This is the record I've been wanting to make for a very long time.
I'll try to rapid fire this as fast as I can so that my video is not an hour long, but we're going to start with the rollout of the album, the announcement of the album on our Boyfriends Football Podcast.
Pause it. Oh, no. Not the football podcast. How dare she roll it out? Yeah, she's only supposed to go to the corporate approved media outlets, right? It can't be the podcast cycle. She can only go on like 4 different networks that the handlers at the CIA have approved. God forbid she just try to, maybe. Do you think it's more to do with that it was a football podcast and they're trying to reach a right-wing audience? Or do you think it's more to do with the fact that she's marrying that guy? Their finances are about to be combined. Taylor's mind is always on the money. And she knows that if she drops that album info on that podcast, that's going to drive viewership up about 30 times what it normally gets and get them paid. Which one do you think is more likely? That it was a political stunt or that she's trying to make money? You're the Swiftie, Mia. Which one's more likely?
Well, they weren't engaged at the time of the podcast.
They're still together.
Yeah, they actually got engaged right after. He proposed right after they were done with the podcast. But still, like, it was a business standpoint.
Business,
like,
100%.
Yeah.
It's not politics.
Yeah. No, she knew that, like, that would get him money. In turn, that would get her money eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a branding thing.
Yeah. No, she wanted to get the views on her boyfriend's podcast.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing is if she goes on, Jimmy Fallon or whatever show and breaks it there, a whole bunch of people are going to get paid. They're going to see that. But if she does it on Travis and Jason Kelsey's podcast, that's independent. They get paid. They don't have to worry about advertisers, producers, none of that. That's them. They get all the ad revenue from that. Them and their crew. I doubt they have a big crew. It looks like they got a pretty casual operation over there. But they get the money out of that. That's it. It's business. She knew that she was going to bring 30 million views to whatever she dropped that on. And she said, why the fuck not do it on something that's going to increase mine and my soon-to-be husband's brand? That's all it is. Okay.
Friend who plays for the NFL, who we are now aligning our brand with, who is one of the most racist and problematic industries in our country.
Pause it.
Yes.
The NFL's like 80% black. It's racist against white people, if anything. The NFL, despite people saying, hey, this is getting a little bit much, has continuously just put end racism in the end zone. By the way, that made me stop being a racist when they started doing that. It was effective. The NFL, problematic. Half the country thinks it's woke. The other half thinks it's problematic. I would like to bring this retard on the show and ask her to elaborate further upon that, because I'm sure she's not going to, because that's how liberals are. They'll drop just a nonsensical claim like that and refuse to elaborate any further because they know the second they do, it's going to fold like a house of cards. I would love to bring her on the show. Do you think we can get her on the show?
No.
No? Probably not now, huh? Well, her forehead takes up half the camera there. Not the biggest forehead we've criticized on this show, though. We know who it is. All right, continue.
And I don't know how long Taylor Swift's been doing this, but I know it's been a pretty good amount of time. She's worked pretty hard for her career. Why are we sharing what you are saying is the best piece of work you've ever put out, and you're going to share it with a man?
Oh, no.
Announce it with a... This is where the optics are starting. We are creeping our way down.
Not with a man. Not with a man. No. Oh, dear, no. Where else was she supposed to do it? I mean, this really feels to me like this woman is looking for things to be offended by. She's really digging. I mean, this is a sad victim mentality way to go about life. To just spend your time over analyzing everything, going, how can I get offended by this? What here can I pretend to be upset about? This is a mental illness is what this is, and this is why we have to make asylums great again. Continue.
On the conservative pipeline, and before you say that's a reach, I'm not done. We all know what's coming next, the engagement. They got engaged as a package deal with the album rollout. Yes, they did. The album was announced, and one day...
Now engagement is right-wing. Engagement, getting engaged is MAGA. Don't you love when they do the self-owns like this? They call things Republican coded that are really just signs of being a stable, productive human. Like, hey, having family values and getting married and raising your kids properly is MAGA coded. So the alternative is liberal coded, I guess. So being a degenerate deadbeat who goes around and sleeps around with a bunch of different people and doesn't raise their kids properly is liberal code. Okay, sure, you guys can have that one. Remember the people I talked about, the Halloween decoration people? How do you think they're going to feel about that? Continue.
2 days later, it was announced that they were engaged. We could talk about how manufactured that is. We could talk about how inauthentic it is. We could also talk about how it is yet another step towards the conservative pipeline. Now, if you're unaware about her history with the Orange Man...
Because only conservatives get married. If you guys didn't know, it's only conservatives that get married. Big ol' forehead and no brain in it. Continue.
He didn't like her very much. He, in all caps, I hate Taylor Swift. She's a childless cat lady. I want you to bank that for later in the video. But once this engagement happened, we had a public statement put out by Pumpkin Man. And he said, wow, Taylor Swift, you know what? She's a great person. She's a terrific person even. And I'm very happy for them. I wish them best in their marriage.
Pause. So they asked him about it. The media asked Trump. It's not like Trump went out of his way, and like what you're doing right here, to congratulate her. They asked her. Hey, they asked him in a press conference. They said, "Hey, did you hear Taylor Swift got engaged?" What was he supposed to say? Oh, I can't wait for it to fail. I give it 6 months. I mean, is that what he was supposed to say? Oh, I wish him the best. Good luck. But somehow, in her mentally ill, brain-rotted liberal mind, I think she's trying to make the implication that there's some type of collusion between Taylor Swift and Trump. Whether it's firsthand or thirdhand, I don't know. But I think am I reading this wrong? I think she's trying to make the inference here, or excuse me, the implication that Taylor Swift and Trump are colluding here by him telling her, I wish her the best of luck. Okay.
Now, I'm not claiming that Taylor Swift can control what that man says or that they are partnering in these words. No, I'm not saying that.
You kind of are.
But the U.S. has a history of using pop culture to further a political agenda. She's doing what...
Like you guys did with the LGBTQ 4K HD TV crap for the last 5 years. That's what you mean, right? You're good.
He wants everyone else to do is to get married and have white babies. What I do know that she can control is the music that she puts out.
White babies.
And I'm just going to jump right into it. Canceled is an anthem for those who are over being politically correct. And we're breaking down the wall of shame that it means to be canceled. Taylor Swift says it's okay now to be canceled, and that's actually cool. And maybe if I'm canceled, I could...
That's the best part about this is this is here's what this is. This is the realization, because listen, I don't think Taylor Swift is MAGA. I don't think she's conservative. What I do think is that this is the realization that these people have lost the culture war, and they are not taking it well. It's like I told you a couple weeks ago. I said what you're seeing right now is a group of people that not only lost the culture war, but chose to make the culture war their entire personality. They have nothing else going for them. And when you lose something that is the only thing you have, you tend to spiral. And that's what you're watching in real time right here. They can't take it. One of the biggest pop star in the world is criticizing cancel culture. The cancel culture that these idiots started. By the way, we're finishing it. We're ending that. We're winning the war and then throwing the ring into the fires of Mount Doom when we're done with it. But now the biggest pop star in the world is criticizing it. And did she ever really come out in favor of it? Of canceling people?
No.
No, so she was never had an opinion. It's like she did a 180 on it. She just said, hey, this was bullshit, which is so typical of megastars. They wait until it's safe to be the last one on the dog pile all the time, which whatever. But this, I mean, it's just so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that, yeah, she this is the last dying gasps of left-wing cancel culture that you're watching right here. Oh, no, we can't just terrorize people for making jokes anymore. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was saying the song is like more about like her friends that have also been canceled and kind of having like an understanding with them.
Yeah.
So it's not even really about what she's saying. It's about So she basically got the meaning of the song wrong.
Yeah.
That's not what the song is about.
Not at all. Not at all. All right, let's go to the next one. Or keep going.
Be her friend. See how that see where we're taking steps.
She looks like a maniac.
When I first heard the lyric, I'm not a bad bitch and I'm not a savage. If that is not the most dog whistly shit I've ever heard in my life. Moving on to wish list.
No,
Let's take a
pause.
look
No,
at these
don't move on. Elaborate what the fuck that means. How is that even remotely close to and I quote, dog whistle? I'm not a bad bitch and I'm not a savage. How is that a dog whistle at all? You can't just drop retarded points like that, refuse to elaborate and go, okay, moving on. Okay, moving on. Okay, keep it going.
They want a fat ass and a baby face. They want freedom. They want 3 dogs they call their kids. But I just want you. Have a couple kids, have the whole block looking like you. And then say that again. I want to have your white babies, and I actually want our entire neighborhood to be racially homogenous.
She's gonna foul out reaching like this. I mean, I want to have a couple kids that look like you. Who are the kids supposed to look like? Who are they supposed to look like? The gardener? I hope your kids at least somewhat resemble you, unless they're adopted. Yes, she's marrying a white guy. They're going to have white babies. That's it. That's it. The idea that the whole block, she's not, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think she's saying she wants the whole block to be white. She wants to make so many kids that the whole block looks like them. Yeah, here's what's really wrong with these retards like this. This is why they're so upset. Is because Taylor Swift was not just the mascot for the childless cat ladies, but she was the glowing example for the longest time. They're like, look, all you guys criticizing me for making these decisions, look how happy Taylor Swift is. And now Taylor Swift has done a 180. Now they have no one to vindicate their bad choices that they are so clearly insecure about. So clearly it eats them alive every day that they've decided to be so vocal about how much they hate the idea of a traditional family and having children and getting married, and that they can either continue to ride that out because they refuse to admit that they were wrong about it, or they can eat crow, say, hey, I fucked up, and try to go find a man that's willing to put up with their bullshit. Neither of those are appealing options to them, because while the first one likely ends with a gun in their mouth, the second one ends with them having to admit that they got something wrong, which to a lot of them is worse than putting a gun in their mouth. Okay.
Went through this entire thing with Trump, right? About how she and her fan base did not like being called childless cat ladies.
Well, she's not anymore.
And now Taylor is calling y'all childless cat ladies.
I missed that lyric. Can we play that one? Can we play that song?
And you know what's coming next?
What?
Taylor Swift line of baby product.
Absolutely it is. The woman knows her merch. Pause it. Pause it. Mia, would you buy the Taylor Swift baby product?
hell yeah.
No, it'd probably be overpriced and cheap Chinese labor. But
I'd still buy it.
the Taylor Swift, you know that's what's coming, though. That's
Oh,
a good
yeah.
point. The woman, that's the best point she's made this whole video. The woman knows the business side of it. That's all there is to it. She knows how to do the business. So, okay, we're almost done. I promise. This video just makes me laugh.
So going back to like how she said she was like a childless cat lady. So she even has a lyric in one of her songs where she says like she didn't believe in marriage, and then like going on about how like until she like changed.
I feel
and,
like that's a lot of people, though.
Yeah, so like she talks about how like she went through different life experiences and like changed her mind.
Yeah.
Cuz that's normal.
That's how it's supposed to be. If your mind is not constantly evolving, it means you're stuck. It means that you're not growing as a human. I'm not saying you should do total 180s of your worldview at any given moment, but your mindset about certain things should change as you get older and as you experience more things. If that's not happening, that means that as much as these people like to call all of us closed-minded, they're the closed-minded ones. And how old do you think this girl in this video is here? 23?
Yeah, early 20s.
Yeah. I hate to break it to you, sweetheart, and feminists love being called sweetheart, by the way, or honey. I hate to break it to you, honey. You're not going to have the same worldview in 3 years that you do right now. I guarantee you're going to have entirely different opinions on a lot of shit 3 years from now. And you're going to look back at the shit you were saying and doing at 23 going, oh my God, I was a fucking retard. What were you going to say?
I was also going to say the lyric that she was complaining about where she says they want those 3 dogs that they call their kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that song is talking about like everything, like how everybody wants all these different things and like that's okay. But like she wants to have like like all of like the kids and stuff. With Travis. But like everyone else wants like different things. Like people want like their dogs, people want to travel, and like she's saying like that's okay. Everyone wants different things, but like this is what she wants. So like there's literally like no valid point to like criticize her for that.
How about this? How about instead of criticizing her for it, all you boss babes that have decided to focus on your career and you're just going to be the childless cat ladies forever, how about you take a look at Taylor Swift? How about you take a look at this woman who was the pinnacle, the outlier of your lifestyle, the tippy top of the 0.01%. She's a billionaire. She's doing what she loves, making music for a living. She can have anything she wants, anyone she wants, anytime she wants. And it turned out at the end of the day, all she wanted was a husband, a house, and some kids. Why don't you guys, instead of criticizing her for this, take a look at it and go, oh, maybe my worldview is wrong. The person who had the absolute best case scenario, which, by the way, there's no chance in hell any of you are ever going to achieve, but the absolute best case scenario of your boss bitch, career-oriented woman lifestyle changed up. She didn't want it. At the end of the day, she realized that all the money and success and awards and cars and houses and that we all know about the private jet, while those things were nice, what she wanted at the end of the day was the things that money couldn't buy. Maybe instead of criticizing her for that, take that as a warning. Because when you're 30, how old is she, 36?
She'll be 36 in December.
When you're 36 and childless and single and making PowerPoints for $55,000 a year, I hate to break it to you, you're not going to get the same ending Taylor Swift did. This story does not end happily for you. This ends in a bathtub with an entire bottle of Percocet downed with a glass of wine, and the cat eats you before the neighbors report you to the apartment because of the foul smell. Half of your body's gone because your cat will eat you when you die. Your dog won't. The dog will starve to death next to you. The cat will eat you when you die. That's how this ends for you. Turn back now. Let's finish this video.
This song was very much giving Pick Me. I thought that we learned our lesson with the she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. The Pick Me song of all Pick Me songs. This is that in this different font.
No
but
one's
more
picked this girl.
Worse. Do you understand? Not to mention the blatant disrespect that it is to put a song about Travis Kelce's over a Jackson 5 interpolation. This all feels so blatantly
the dick song's
obvious
funny
to me. The pipeline that we are sliding down, especially with her bestie. The same week that the album was announced, Lana Del Rey came out with this cover.
Oh, they're so cooked. They're so cooked and they know
I
it.
feel like I'm on the show Pranked and also.
Oh, it's not a prank, sweetheart.
It's the crossover.
You're fucked.
Episode.
You lost.
This is where I'm going to add, the comment that Travis Kelce made about him being honored to play football for Orange Man. And this is where I'm also going to answer your question. Well, does she owe us her political opinions? She's just a pop star. Well, yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
She's a white woman with one of the most massive platforms in our world today. In Miss Americana, she platformed herself as an ally and monetized off of that. So do I expect a white woman with the biggest platform in the world to make moves with politics? Yeah, I do.
And that's your problem, is you expect a celebrity to come out with an opinion, because let's be honest, only stupid people will base their vote off what a celebrity says. You expect you're a stupid person whose mind is easily influenced by pop culture and celebrities, so you expect a celebrity to come out and push the talking points that you espouse because you want other stupid people just like you to fall for the same bullshit. That's what it really boils down to with this girl. That's at the end of the day, that's what it's about, is getting other stupid people on board with her stupid worldview. Now, here's the thing. Taylor owes us her politics. What if Taylor came out and said, yeah, I don't think ICE is going far enough. I think women who get abortions should be hung. I mean, what if she went full, too far right, like Doug Mastriano right? Then what happens? Then what are you going to do? Does she still owe us? No, she only quote unquote owes us her politics if they align with your retarded worldview. I'm done talking about this. Just like I said, remember, if you're one of the boss babes that's watching this, and we're going to clip this and post it, because anytime I use the word Taylor Swift, we're going to get a bunch of angry comments threatening to kill me. It's funny. But if you're one of the boss babes watching this and you made it through that entire clip, just heed the warning. I don't hate you. I really don't. I want the best for you. Truly. And I want you to turn back now. Your lifestyle is a farce. You have been sold a lie. I'm not saying you have to live like a 1950s housewife, but this idea that you can achieve happiness and success through a career path is a lie. It is a lie. There is no career path. Even your dream career, quote unquote dream. I work my dream job. I'm doing it right now. If I just had this, I would suck on a gun. If this was the only thing I had. Trust me. There is no career on its own. Now, your career can help. Your career on its own will not get you where you want to be in life. I promise you. I promise you. Okay, let's go to the next one. What? I can't do a whole show on Taylor Swift. There's nothing left to say. I'm not going to beat the dead horse anymore.
I could go on. I mean, I can just talk about the album.
Then we'll do a Friday bonus show. You can do that. There you go.
I can unpack and talk about every single song.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Next, let's Virginia. We're going to get into some real hard-hitting news here. Virginia, we've got a couple of races going on. We showed you the text last week from AG candidate, Democrat nominee, Jay Jones. Jay Jones had some nasty text messages where he was saying he hoped that a Republican state senator, her husband, and her children would all get shot to death. They got leaked, and he refused the drop out of the race. Well, enter Virginia governor race between Republican Winsome Sears and Democrat Abigail Spanberger. Now, this is controversial. Here's a video that Sears' campaign released where Spanberger would not even look her in the eye while she was talking. The first one.
Would it take him pulling the trigger? Is that what would do it? And then you would say he needs to get out of the race? Abigail, you have nothing to say? Abigail, what if he said it about your 3 children? Is that when you would say he should get out of the race, Abigail? You're running to be governor.
Miss Earl Sears.
I mean, we're talking about murder. We're talking about someone's life being taken from them. Have you nothing to say about that? Are you not going to address it?
Unbelievable.
Really, you can't go any further. You're a governor. You're supposed to stand up for all the people. Are you saying political murder is all right? Have some political courage. What you have done is you are taking political calculations about your future as governor. Well, as governor, you have to make hard choices, and that means telling Jay Jones to leave the race.
Now, okay, imagine for a second if the roles were reversed. Imagine if a white Republican woman sat there and refused to even acknowledge the existence, wouldn't even look at a black Democrat woman. It's all we would hear all day, every day until election day. That's it. That's it. But that's not the worst part of it. This is what Spanberger's campaign decided to release as an ad after the debate.
MAGA Republican Winsome Earl Sears. Sometimes it seems like she just can't stop.
Ms. Earl Sears, Ms. Spanberger is talking. Please let her finish. Ms. Earl Sears,
anyone.
please.
Ms. Earl Sears, Virginia's voters cannot hear if you're talking over Ms. Spanberger.
Excuse me, Ms. Sears. Please don't interrupt.
I am speaking. You
Ms.
going
Earl
to
Sears.
tell? I am speaking.
Ms. Earl Sears.
I am speaking.
We know you're speaking, and we've heard enough. Winsome Earl Sears. So far right, she's wrong for Virginia.
I mean, could you look, Mia? Could you imagine if the roles were reversed and a Republican candidate tried to run an attack ad on a Democratic black woman about how she was loud, obnoxious, and wouldn't shut up? Could you imagine the outbursts, the outcry that would go on here? I mean, the Virginia Democrats are really getting back to their roots with this election and showing us their true colors, or lack thereof. I mean, like I said, every now and then the Democrats like to remind us who founded the KKK. They do. It keeps going. It keeps going. Here's a tweet. Go ahead and pull this one up here. Or this is the sign that we had a couple months ago. Sorry. This is a woman outside of a protest against Winsome Sears' campaign. We showed this sign a couple months ago. Hey, Winsome, if trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain. It gets better. The Powhatan County Democrats in Virginia tweeted this political cartoon out. I mean, they might as well just come out in blackface at this point and do an impression of this woman. I mean, how much further are we going to go? At this rate, ladies and gentlemen, I fully expect the Virginia Democrats to go burn a cross in Winsome Earl Sears' front yard by the end of the weekend. I think that's the only way that this plays out. That's the only way they play out is she gets a noose dropped on the hood of her car when she's leaving the supermarket. I mean, this is insane. This is insane. And then you have this guy, Jay Jones, who's out there. So their poll numbers have plummeted since this. Jay Jones is tanking the entire Democrat ticket there because Spanberger was stupid enough to put her name on signs with him a couple months ago. You never attach your name to anybody but your own. By the way, free game in politics, because sometimes texts get leaked where it shows that they were wishing death upon small children of their political rivals. But so Jason Miyares, who is the Republican that's running, he's now got a 5.5 point lead over Jay Jones, 48.9 to 43.1, a little bit over 5.5. Here's my question, though. This is the problem. It's great that the guy is hopefully going to lose. The bigger problem here is over 40% of the state saw a guy saying, I hope this woman's children get killed because she votes differently than me, and went, it's not a deal breaker. I still vote for him. I mean, that's the big story here. It's not that his numbers are tanking. It's not that they could have accidentally caused a red wave next month by just nominating a racist and a homicidal psychopath who should be locked up in a mental asylum. The big story here is that 43% of because Virginia, they're a little bit blue, but it's kind of a fringe swing state. So about 40% of the country thinks that somebody who wants to kill you and your kids is not a deal breaker. They'll vote for that guy. And it's not like they're voting for this guy to be on, the power committee, for the utility board, which he still wouldn't be qualified if he did that. He shouldn't hold any office. He wants to be attorney general. So he's going to oversee law enforcement in the state. He's going to oversee all the cases they choose to bring to trial. Is that somebody that you can trust? Is that somebody who you believe is going to perform the job the way he was supposed to do it rather than target his political enemies? No, that's a guy who's going to send law enforcement after anybody and everybody he doesn't agree with. That's a nutcase. That's a guy who needs to be in a padded room and straitjacket where he can't hurt anybody because he is an actual threat to those around him, and he needs to be treated as such and locked away. Okay, let's go to our next one here. We took a lot of time talking about the life of a MAGA girl, so we got to move on here. This was released this week, these young Republican group chats. Finally, somebody else's group chat got leaked. I find the timing to be a bit odd. Go ahead and pull the first text up here. This is what was said in some of them, allegedly. Remind you, no one's been totally proven to have said this, but it sounds like they probably did. A couple of these messages. Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. I love Hitler. When do we bring that side out? I'm ready to watch people burn now. You're giving nationals too much credit and expecting the Jew to be honest. I'd go to the zoo if I wanted to watch monkeys play ball. When do we start bullying this dude? Boom, they're dead. They love watermelon people. Everyone that endorsed but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber. So, I mean, that's the gist of it. There's more. You can pull it up. These are the guys that allegedly sent these messages. They just look like the type of people that would be involved in the Young Republicans group. I'm not going to lie. Here's the thing, guys. This is quite clearly, someone's had this and been sitting on it for a while. Remember when my group chat got leaked? And it conveniently came out right when one of the people endorsed a particular candidate who we won't name. When people get these group chats, they sit on it and they wait for it to be convenient. And with all this stuff going on about Jay Jones, this is nothing more than a distraction. Don't get me wrong. Some of the shit they said in there was pretty fucked up. I'm not by any means going to sit here and say I approve.
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
However, a lot of what they said were edgy jokes, and that's it. You don't have to find it funny. You can find it to be tasteless. You can find it to be unbefitting of someone who maybe someday wants to hold political office. All that's fine and dandy, but they were jokes. There's a difference between somebody telling a joke and somebody saying they want to kill somebody's kids. We understand that, right? I know you guys are the ones that get your butthurt about comedy and whatnot, and you think that words are violence, but you understand making a Hitler gas chamber joke while you're trying to be edgy and funny is not as bad as seriously saying that you want to kill somebody or you want somebody's kids to get killed. Here's what I'll say. The Young Republicans. Let's talk about what this group is. This is a group. They will go out and they will have like mixers once every couple of months. They'll meet at a bar and they'll network. What they're networking for, nobody really knows. They're networking so that they can meet more people to network with and then go, I hate that fucking word. You got to network. You got to network. You got to go out and network. They're networking with people so they can go network with more people at a networking event. It's all about the networks. They show up way overdressed in like suits that are brand new off the rack and haven't been tailored because they want to look professional. I mean, this is the young Republicans move. I got reached out to by the young Republicans. I didn't think I was young, but evidently if you're under 40, you can join. The young Republicans reached out to me about a year ago, and they were talking back and forth and wanting me to come out to a thing. I said, hey, we've got a group chat that we're all in where we kind of collaborate. Would you like to be added to it? Now, thank God I didn't get added to that group chat. Could you imagine the stuff I would have said that would have went viral there? But I said, sure, send me the link. So they send me a link. I click on it, and it's not a group chat. It's a link to a website where I can donate money. So they chatted me up, tried to be nice to me. Listen, I understand where I stand with a lot of these people. I have made actually good friends in politics. There's people I actually respect, and I would have them over at my house for beers. However, I understand that a lot of relationships you make in politics are transactional. I get that. I understand. I understand that these people, that a lot of them are, if you're in the young Republicans, let's be honest, you're probably upper middle class, right? Had a nice little 2-story house with a 3-car garage and all that, which is fine. I don't hate you for it. But I understand that these people view me as trash. I don't carry myself as one of them. I don't try to carry myself as one of them. I can look damn good in a suit. I just don't like to do it all the time. You can judge by my Facebook profile picture. I clean up nice, don't I, Mia? Mia's nodding her head off camera. But I understand they see me the way they do, and that's fine. But where I'm from, if you're going to ask somebody for money, you just ask them. You don't try to backdoor it in. So I'm not going to come out here and defend this organization because I honestly don't have a lot of use for it. It's just not something I care all that much about. It's very clear that the left is trying to use this to divert from what Jay Jones said, which is a crying shame, and it's despicable because there's no diverting from what he said. But at the same time, I see this happen to this group, and I'm like, you guys really don't. I've never heard of any of these people. They don't do anything anyway. These people would sell me out to hell. What's important to remember is I'm not going to sit up here and die on a hill defending these people when they would sell me out to hell for a stick of bubble gum if they felt that it could advance them and whatever the hell it is they're trying to do. It could help them network better. They'd be able to, if they sold me out, they'd be able to network better. I needed to donate money, Mia, so they could have more networking events. It's all in the networking. You didn't know? Hey, can we have $200? For what? So we can set up a networking event. Are we networking right now? You're texting me. Yeah, but we need to network in person so we can set up more networking events. It sounds like a fucking, when I talk about it, it sounds like a pyramid scheme. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. Oh my God. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's go. Networking doesn't sound like a word anymore. Zoran Momskrani. He's in hot water. His mayoral campaign. It came out in a New York Post story. The leading campaign, the commie over there, took 79 donations and $13,000 from foreigners with addresses outside the United States. Illegal, by the way, in case you didn't know. It says as of October 31st, or October 3rd, excuse me, at least 170 of that number gets higher. At least 170 of the nearly 54,000 contributions to the Mamdani campaign may violate campaign finance rules, as only U.S. citizens or permanent legal residents are permitted to contribute to American political campaigns. Candidates are expected to return illegal donations. So here's the thing. Are we surprised that foreign assets want to donate money to this guy? Of course not, because he's conducting a hostile takeover. The people that hate this country want to see this guy win because it's the financial capital of the country, and they know as goes New York City, so goes the rest of the country. If they can get this guy in charge and even enact half of the crap that he's advocating on behalf of, which I'm not convinced they can, but if they can do that, that'll be a major blow to this country. Like I said, the market's not going to go anywhere. The financial institutions that he's going to try to run out, they'll pick up and go somewhere else, but there will be a correction period, and that'll eat shit for a little bit. That's going to be difficult for the average everyday American. Now, here's the thing. New York City, unfortunately for Mom Scrawny, made it clear with Donald Trump. If we feel that you violated some type of campaign finance law, we're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. But like I said, when you set a precedent, you got to ask, when's it going to be used against me? Well, they charged Donald Trump with 33 felonies for paying a porn star hush money and calling it a campaign expense. I think they need to go after Mom Scrawny next. I think, how about this? Zoran, we're gonna try you. We're going to try you. We're going to take you to court for illegal campaign finance violations. And we won't send you to jail if you can bench press 135 3 times without a spotter. He'd just take the jail sentence. Absolutely. He'd take the jail sentence. George Santos is serving 7 years in prison. Yeah, you haven't heard that name for a while. In New York for campaign finance violations. Donald Trump convicted of multiple felonies for allegedly paying a porn star hush money. Now, here's my thing about the Trump thing. Even if he did do that, isn't that kind of a campaign expense? I mean, think about it. If you got this porn star that you fucked around on your wife with, and she's like, I'm going to go to the press unless you pay me, and you write her a check for it from your that helps your campaign to not have her talk. That objectively helps your campaign. I'm not saying it's the moral or ethical thing to do. That's a different conversation. But that is good for your campaign. That's like paying for a reverse advertisement. Hey, don't go and talk about me. Okay, let's go to the next one here. We're going to try and burn through as many of these as we can. No, you're going way too far. Yeah, no, I don't have that much more. Alex Jones has been denied by the Supreme Court. That's right. Alex Jones, his defamation case, it's finally coming to an end. I think he's finally going to have to pay the piper on this. Supreme Court rejects Alex Jones's $1.4 billion appeal of the defamation judgment in Sandy Hook shooting. Supreme Court Tuesday rejected an appeal from conspiracy theorist Alex Jones and left in place the $1.4 billion judgment against him over his description of the 2012 Sandy Hook shootings as a hoax staged by crisis actors. InfoWars host argued that a judge was wrong to find him liable for defamation and infliction of emotional distress without holding a trial on the merits of allegations lodged by relatives of victims. So here's my thing. I don't know the ins and outs of this. I'm not a lawyer. Can we look at this at the surface? Because that's what happened. He is correct about that. He didn't even get a trial. The judge said, before you even get a chance to hear your case, you're guilty. You were wrong. The only thing the jury can decide is how much money are you going to pay. And then the jury decided to make him pay, not based on the damages, but based on what the family's lawyer asked for, which was to hurt him so badly he could not have a platform. Now, that's not how damages work. If I get hit by a car, by a drunk driver, I get damages for my pain and suffering, if I lost any income from it, if I have medical bills, whatever. I don't get to go to the judge and go, I want you, or to the jury or whoever, and go, I want you to make this guy pay me so much money he can never afford to buy a car or a beer again. I don't get to do that. You certainly don't get to do that with someone's free speech. The government does not get to find someone with the intent of making it so they cannot have a platform anymore. That is an abridgment of free speech. Absolutely. 8 days out of the week, 25 hours a day. Absolutely, that's a violation of free speech. And they did the same thing to the MyPillow guy in Minnesota. A judge found him guilty and said the only thing the jury can decide is what the punishment is. And they called it the Alex Jones method. So they found ways to prosecute conservatives and, bankrupt us by just getting a liberal judge, making it so they find us guilty. We don't even get our day in court and screwing us over. Now, the Supreme Court probably didn't want to deal with Alex Jones. They got enough on their plate. I don't know entirely what's going on there. but we can look at it from the way this country was drawn up and just from a moral, ethical standpoint and say, yeah, Alex was wrong to do what he did, but he wasn't $1.4 billion wrong. It's wrong for a government employee, a judge, to set a punishment, not with the damages in mind, but with the idea that this guy's never going to be able to have a platform again in mind. That's a violation of the First Amendment, one would think. This is a massive loss for free speech. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. And should we start a GoFundMe up for Alex? Help him pay it off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
1.4 billion.
This is outrageous criminal activity.
I mean, it really is. The guy got a hatchet job the whole way. He did not get a fair trial. Now, it didn't help that his lawyer was a dipshit, but he did not get a fair trial. I mean, it's insane that he's going to have to pay out he'll never pay that off. He's going to have to file for bankruptcy. There's no way. And he's going to be ducking collectors for the rest of his life. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Recent study conducted shows that transgenderism is declining significantly in the United States. Go ahead and pull this this graph up here. You look at this graph over here. They conducted several studies over the last couple of years. One of them showed that the percentage of high school students identifying as non-binary or neither male nor female went from 9 to 2%. That is nearly a 5-time over decline in the amount of students who are identifying as transgender or non-binary. Now, you can look, there's varying degrees from other studies, but they all pretty much show it's right around that 2 to 3%, which is a massive decline. You can go ahead and take that down. Here's the thing. All you guys that told us that this was natural, that people have always felt this way, why is it declining? Why is it declining at the exact same time that its popularity in society has declined? Why is it declining when the tides of the culture war have just begun to shift in the opposite direction? Could it be that this was a fad the entire time? That was a rhetorical question. The answer was yes. They point to how it's skyrocketed. Transgender and non-binary identities over the last couple of years is proof that this is what happens when a society is more accepting. Well, it's not. Because homosexuality saw a, not steep, but has seen a gradual incline ever since the 1960s and 70s, because that's actually natural. You see that in nature. Animals do have homosexual tendencies. I'm not saying one way or the other how people should feel about that in terms of political policy. Not our dog, no. How people should feel about that in political policy, but at the end of the day, it is... I know I'm going to get shit for this, but it's a natural inclination that certain people feel. Why they feel that, you go ahead and figure it out. But this isn't the same thing. These are people that have caught on with the trend. These are people that saw something that was trendy, and it got them away to earn victim brownie points. That's what this was about at the end of the day. A lot of these kids are socially awkward, suburban white kids. They come from not rich parents, but well-to-do, right? They're not doing poorly. Nobody's missing any meals in that house. And for the last decade, society made it popular to be a victim. Everything was about how we need to listen to these people and be quiet while a black woman is speaking and all. And these kids sitting around going, fuck, I want to be heard. No one will listen to me. I'm a straight white guy. Or a straight white girl is usually what it was, girls. And they decided to invent this gender crap. It's the easiest way to get accolades without actually doing anything. And that's what they did. They found it was a way to get them attention. You know, their teachers, their classmates, people online would tell them how brave they were. And it was honestly kind of a control thing, because there were certain people who, just to keep the peace, they probably didn't agree with this lunacy, but to keep the peace, they'd walk around on eggshells. And they could manipulate people. And maybe this wasn't their goal outright, but in the back of their mind, they did kind of like the power trip it gave them, because they could manipulate people into saying absurd things, into calling them a different name and pretending they were an animal or that gender wasn't real. They got people to suspend common sense and reality in their presence, and they liked the power trip it gave them. Well, the winds are a-changin'. And like I said, the left has, they haven't lost, but they are losing the culture war. This insanity is finally coming to an end. Now, what you're not seeing, and I don't think it's cool to harass people for any of this stuff, by the way, but what you're not seeing is you're not seeing homosexuality decline. That stayed pretty steady. The amount of people that identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual has stayed about the same. What you have seen, though, is transgenderism and this non-binary nonsense decline. Because it was a trend. It is changing with the trends because it was always a trend.
Why do you keep calling me Bill?
I'm Lenore. Okay, let's go to the next one. Columbus Day. It was Columbus Day. Mia, how did you celebrate Columbus Day?
Watching TV.
Yeah. You didn't go to a protest for your Native American roots? No.
I did not.
No. Well, Trump signed an executive order bringing Columbus Day back, and here's what he said.
Today we have your Columbus Day proclamation for Monday, which we're signing a bit early. Christopher Columbus obviously discovered the New World in 1492. He was a great Italian explorer. He sailed his 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, across the Atlantic Ocean and landed in what's today the Caribbean. But this is a particularly important holiday for Italian Americans who celebrate the legacy of Christopher Columbus and the innovation and explorer zeal that he represented.
In other words, we're calling it Columbus Day.
Yes.
That was the press that broke out in applause. Can you believe that? I've never seen that happen before. The press actually broke out in applause. Good. Columbus Day. We're back. Columbus Day, we're back, Italians.
We're back. Can I get a shirt that says "We're back, Italians"? We're back, Italians. It's about time. Listen, we can argue about Columbus Day back and forth. I don't really care either way. I think most people look at it. I guess most people don't look at it as a day off of work because nobody's really closed for that. You can call it Columbus Day. You can call it Indigenous Peoples Day, whatever you want to call it. It's
government workers have
government employees. Well, government employees don't work at work anyway, so it's just a day to not show up to work and not work rather than show up to work and not work, right? Well, I'm not going to argue about Columbus Day, but I will let a very highly esteemed intellectual have the last word on this show when it comes to Columbus Day. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Soprano.
That is just one person's opinion, Anthony.
What, football again? He's not going to get hurt. He's a tough kid.
Oh, Jesus.
We're having a discussion about Christopher Columbus.
They would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subjugate them.
Subjugate?
50 men.
And make them do whatever we want. That doesn't sound like a slave trader to you?
George Washington had slaves, the father of our country.
Well, what's your point?
His history teacher, Mr. Cushman, is teaching your son that if Columbus was alive today, he would go on trial for crimes against humanity like Milosevic in, Europe.
Your teacher said that.
It's not just my teacher. It's the truth. It's in my history book.
So you finally read a book and it's bullshit.
Tony.
Look, you had to walk in Columbus's shoes to see what he went through. People thought the world was flat, for crying out loud. Then he lands on an island with a bunch of naked savages on it. I mean, that took a lot of guts. You remember when we went to Florida, the heat and those bugs?
Well, like it took guts to murder people and put them in chains.
He was a victim of his time.
Who cares? It's what he did.
He discovered America is what he did. He was a brave Italian explorer. And in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story.
All right, look, here's what I'll say on Columbus Day. You can appreciate accomplishments that people made without approving of everything they've done. I'm sure there are a lot of you that love listening to my show every Saturday morning and Wednesday morning. More of you should listen Wednesday morning. That if I went down the list and told you everything I've ever done in my life, you would go, oh my God, what the fuck was wrong with you? That's okay. You can appreciate my show without appreciating other things I've done. Thomas Jefferson owned slaves. Still one of the fathers of our country. Right? We need to be able to separate things that people have done, and instead of just letting one bad thing or one good thing define them as a human. And we also have to apply historical context to things. I mean, we can go down the list. Like I said, Thomas Jefferson and Martin Luther King was an adulterer, still did great things for black people in this country. Jared from Subway, pedophile, but was a damn good advertiser for a sandwich company. I mean, how much are we going to do on this? You know? Columbus Day is not the celebration of murdering Native Americans. It's not even really the celebration of Christopher Columbus, the person. Columbus Day is the celebration of the discovery of the Western world by Europe. No, correct. He did not discover the Western world. There were already people living here. But he did discover it for Europe, which is, by the way, what most of you who listening to this as ancestors came from. If it weren't for Christopher Columbus, you would be over there in Europe, living out that cucked European lifestyle. And I know you'd, with no, Mia, get this, no air conditioning in Europe. If it weren't for Columbus, you would not have air conditioning in your house. Think of it that way. Doesn't mean you have to approve of everything he ever did, but you can acknowledge that the accomplishment he did make was a damn impressive one. That's all. What do you think about Christopher Columbus?
I honestly don't have an opinion either way.
Yeah.
But I will say, I never even thought of Columbus Day as like celebrating Christopher Columbus. I always just thought it was like celebrating like the day that that America was
like exploration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's always what I thought it was. I never thought it was like actually celebrating Christopher Columbus.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. The same way that President's Day is about celebrating, you know, the fact that we have a president and not a king, despite what these idiots at the No Kings rally said. It's not about celebrating George Washington or Abraham Lincoln, the person. It's about celebrating the fact that we have a representative democracy. I can go on and on with every holiday. You can associate something bad with, I'm sure, every holiday. But we're not going to do that. The holidays are about celebrating the good parts of it, the impressive parts of it, the accomplishments that were made by these people. Not them as humans, the individual accomplishment. Okay? That's it. And that's been our show. We will see you on Wednesday. Cheat on your taxes, not your spouse. Happy Indigenous Peoples Columbus Day. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. I hope you got a day off work. Cheat on your taxes, not your spouse, and stay based.